Okay, good morning, everybody. I hope everybody can hear me clearly or they can see the right screen. I should be on the NVO right now screen. I'm going to switch over to ES. So we are currently sitting on the ES screen, S&P 500. Uh, we're going to get started this morning a little bit early, 8:10, because we have the ADP numbers coming out at 8:15. We don't have any data that's coming out from the U.S. because of the government shutdown still continues, and the BLS department is still down. So let's talk about this data first this morning, and it's going to be a money market, money moving event. This is going to be a money market moving event. So let's get on with what is going on. Let's go look at the Forex calendar here. What is going on with this market? So looking this morning at 8:15, we are on Wednesday ADP. We have about 3.5 minutes to go. Also have ISM manufacturing data coming out. So what's gonna happen with the numbers? Let's talk about ADP. Number is slated to come out at 32K. The last number that came out was negative. They had 32,000 jobs losses. Okay, this time they're expecting 32,000 jobs to increase. So here's the story. Here's what's going to happen to the market. So if we see that 32, we go under, we go negative, we go anything under below that, the market should respond to the upside immediately. Why? Because of interest rate cut decision that's going to come in December. Instead of quarter point, maybe if this is so bad number, we could end up with maybe half a point. So that's number one. That's going to be very important to what we're going to see this number here at in a few minutes. And then also ISM is coming out at 10 o'clock. This is not going to have that much effect. But if the number goes to the positive side, if you get an increase on the number of jobs, that is going to take the possibility away from that half a point or a quarter point in December. Okay, so if this number is greater than 32K, 32K still is a bad number. Okay, anything up to 100K is or 200K is still a bad number because we're talking about number of jobs that are out there. Okay, so that's going to, if it's anything under 32K, we should see the market rise, and then after a while the market should drop back down. Why? Because if we're losing jobs in the economy, and what normally happens to the economy goes to the downside. So remember, a lot of the government employees, a lot of other employees are applying for these benefits. So I think this number is not going to be real bad. I think it's going to go to the downside. If anybody else like to guess, please put it in the chat. I would love to hear from you. What do you think? What the number is going to be? I think the number is not. I think the number is going to come in under 32K, and that is going to respond with the market to the upside. Okay, so eventually on the long-term view the market will go back to the downside. So any let's move this out of the way here, and we're going to start looking at the market because we got about a minute and 20 seconds. This is what the ES futures look like right now, and this is a day chart. Let's go drop it down to the hourly. It's going to start moving in a few minutes. Right now we got a resistance here and a support here. So if the number comes in low, this is going to break this support to the upside very quickly. So let's bring it down to the minute. So we will see a better movement in this one. So in a few minutes, we don't have we're supposed to get the non-farm payroll on Friday. We are not getting those numbers because of the government shutdown. I'm just going to quickly put on here financial use on higher sound so you guys can hear the numbers first from them, and then I will after that I will pick up on after that. So let's hear what these guys have to say first. We got about 25 seconds to go here. So the market should start moving. This is the ES futures. And let's see here, right? Like I said, the number's lower. This should pop to the upside. 32K is expected. Below that, market should pop. 8 seconds. ready to go.
42k higher than
42k is
forecast
still
of
bad.
30k.
42k still is
For
not
hours
good.
revised up to minus
Okay.
29k
I
from
still
minus
see this
32k.
market going to the upside. 42k is not good. Not good. Okay. That's all they offer. Last time was negative 32k jobs. That's all they added was 42k. That number is not good. Okay. Still not good. I think the market will be okay. I think the market will climb to the upside. So it still, I mean, it's a bad news, but overall economy is doing bad. But we are looking
It's
at it as a
trading
good
a
news
rise
because we're
off
gonna
the
get interest
October
rate cuts,
ADP figures. A little bit
right?
of strength came through in the dollar as well.
So I'm sure Donald Trump will be yelling and screaming this morning as well. Well, let's see. Let's get these numbers, going to the upside by cutting interest rates. So that's why I put a little bit of a real estate piece in the chat this morning, and that's what I was looking at. If you don't want to buy any stocks or any housing stocks out there, you can buy that real estate. XLRE is, and same thing in Canada is not as likely as much. The American side, the housing market is still down big time, and you can look at the DHIs, PHMs. You can buy those individual stocks as well. But if anybody who doesn't want to take a lot of risk out there, XLRE is the one to get into. So I do expect the market to pop up a little bit. These numbers were not great, almost the same as what the forecast was. That's why this market has not moved much. But I do expect this to go to the upside. So what are we looking from ES today? So let's go back to the hourly chart here. So here's a range right now. If we get above this here, 6804, we can have a bullish market to the upside. But if we drop below 6754, we tested it twice yesterday, this level here, to see if it never actually ended up closing below this. But if it does, 67.54, we can see further market to the downside. Okay, below 67.54. Keep these levels high. You want to go bullish here, and you want to go bearish down here. Okay, in between, trade whatever your signals tell you to do. Okay. So the market didn't move as much as I expected this market to move, but the numbers didn't come in, a lot to the upside or to the downside either, right? So that's the issue. So what else is coming out this morning, guys? Let's take a look at this market, and what did it do to the 10-year? Then when you look at the 10-year, it's still sitting at 4.09. So it's still not happy either way. It's gonna go sideways. This data was basically sideways, and we can see that the 10-year is very stubborn. It's sitting at 4.09, and likely the reason it's sticking there because Jerome Powell said there's gonna be no cut in December. So it's basically sticking around here. Also, it's making the dollar stronger, and dollar's been just going to the upside. But eventually, I do see this back below 100. And I see the dollar getting weak. We know that Donald Trump wants to, or Bessent, all these cronies, they all want to cut interest rates, right? And they're going to be cutting like crazy once the new chairman steps in. The new chairman says whoever it's going to be, and Waller is one of the one that person is talked about, and he is saying he's not going to. Right now, they're all saying basically, I will follow whatever the president wants to do. But once they get into that seat, it's going to be a different story. They're going to have to look at the numbers. But still, I still think they're going to cut a lot of rates next year. I see right now we are sitting at 4%. I think by the end of next year, you will see that rate under 2.5%, 2.5. At least the 1.5 will be gone right off top. Okay, and that's gonna really fire up the housing market. Like I said, I was talking early this morning in the chat. Is it's gonna push that housing market to the upside, big time. So I was also reading a Bank of America report this morning, and they're suggesting that there is gonna be a growth for 2029, 2028. They're predicting there's gonna be a 15% growth in their mortgages and into all their the stuff they invest in. 15%. And normally the banks don't come out with those numbers. They usually come in like single digits, and then they're happy if they get a double digit. This is the first bank actually come out and saying they're saying 15 to 20%. So if you're going to get 15 to 20% by the bank, when you're investing yourself, you should be able to get a lot more. Okay? That means a lot more should come in for you. You should be making at least double that, 30, 40, 50% return on that. So we're going to take a look at those, what they're talking about. I'm still reading that report on the side, and once I get it, I'll do some more highlights in the group for you guys, exactly what they're talking about. So that is for 15, 20%, that's pretty good growth. So looking at the 10-year, it's climbing. Now it's going to 4.10, and that's not good for the stock market anyway. And let's take a look at the what else is happening here. Look at the put call ratios. Put call ratios are sitting at 1.17. This went towards the call side. The triple Qs went, they're still sitting at the same, did not much change. But the IWM went a little more to the put side. So it's a mixed bag of picture. But today is a risk on day, I think. It's going to be risk on. The reason, especially when the market gets, ES gets over this level. I think it's going to be a risk on day as soon as the market gets up above here. Okay, that's where we can actually go long for the day and take some to the long side. Otherwise, let's quickly take a look at oil. Oil is sitting here. Nothing is happening with this one. I think it's going to stick around $55. I think not far away from this picture. Especially this is where you want to go short. 59.66. We talked about this yesterday. It's still like it's been sticking to this level since the 28th. And if we do get a break below here, I think it's going to be a strong breakout to the breakdown to the downside at 59.65. So keep a close eye on oil. This is where I am going to go short. So put your alerts on that one on oil. What about gold? What is gold doing? Gold is up $21. It's sitting in this 4K range. It's a psychological level. Whether the gold gets above the 4K level, I don't think anytime soon. I think the gold goes sideways, and possibly if it breaks down here, let's go to the daily chart. I think it was 3,800. If we break with the 3,800 here, right there, and I think we're gonna see 3,700, and could we see 3,500? This is where the very strong sport is. I don't see gold going below 3,500. I don't for a long time. It's a very strong sport, but you never say never, right? But that's what I think. I think the gold is very, very, very strong at 3,500 level to the upside. That's where we broke out. Remember all those. I am just end of August when we were talking about gold, whether it was gonna get to 4K. This was a level long marked, and it's done a beautiful thing, and I hope you guys all made money on that one. But again, this is the range where we want to take a look at gold. If it really hard, if it breaks below 3,900, 3,700, and possibly 3,500. Okay, so but again, long term, I'm still bullish on gold. Okay, long term, I still see this thing going to the upside. What about the VIX? VIX is slightly up. We also got a Supreme Court decision coming in, guys. I think it's most likely gonna come out today. I haven't heard anything else. Besant is attending that meeting, and most likely the decision's gonna be towards Donald Trump. I don't think they're gonna take the tariffs off. I don't think they're gonna give that. They might just say, okay, you know what? You can't do any more, right? Or they might say, okay, you have this much time to do something else. So I see two decisions coming out. One, probably telling Donald Trump, you can't do this anymore, but we're not gonna take these tariffs off. And what is that gonna do to the market? That's gonna make the market happy. Believe it or not, if these tariffs are not coming off and they continue, it's gonna be good news for the market. I know it's hard to believe when taxes are not. The way the decision is, the big thing is if the Supreme Court does decide the taxes are illegal and he can't do it, he's got to give the money back. That's gonna be a big trouble for the market, because now the Treasury's got to print in over $1 trillion. That's how much money they have already taken in. All these taxes, the tariffs that Donald Trump put in, they already taken on that million. So what happened to that $1 trillion? That $1 trillion already been spent. That money's already gone. So where are they gonna get $1 trillion to pay back all these? Where they collected all these taxes from? They're gonna have to print, and if they print, that's gonna sink the U.S. dollar. That's gonna sink the stock market. That's gonna stink everything else. The 10-year yield is gonna go to 5-6%. Okay, higher. So it's going to be a big, big problem if the Supreme Court decides against Donald Trump. And I don't think it's going to happen. Okay, for this reason. They're aware too. I mean, these guys are Supreme Court. They know, they look at what's going to have, what the effect is going to be on the decision they make. And I don't think that's the reason I think they're going to join Donald Trump and say, okay, your tariff will stay on. The worst case scenario is that you may not be able to put any more tariffs on. Okay, so I don't know what time or what it should be during the day sometime that decision comes out, and that will be a market of it will affect the market big time. Okay, so let's see what happened. So what happened to the market since the numbers come out? Markets has been going to the downside a little bit. Let's see, we're 1 minute. Okay, market is actually to the upside. So I still see this market going to the upside. Okay, so since the numbers come out, that is a Supreme Court decision. Which the VIX has. That's why the VIX is going to pick up very quickly. It's already been picking up a little bit during the day, but I think this is where you're going to see quickly something is happening in the market when this thing picks up. Okay. So the 10-year is sitting at 4.09. We talked about the put call ratios. What's also that's what's killing the Bitcoin as well. The Supreme Court decision, these interest rate decisions that are going, they took away the December cut. So this is hitting the, Bitcoin a little bit hard. So Bitcoin is kind of holding here. I see further downside if they don't cut any interest rates, and if the Supreme Court decision is also going to affect this one as well. Okay. So a lot is going on this morning, guys. So also we haven't even talked about the earnings out. So we'll talk about them in a minute. It's going to affect also the big time this forex market. Okay, this is gonna if this decision comes against Donald Trump and stuff like that, this is going to affect this market big time. And the Japanese yen has been very strong. The U.S. dollar has been very strong against the yen, because they're not cutting, they're not doing anything over there on interest rate decision. The last PM was going to raise them, but the new PMs, they're not doing anything with it. So I see maybe the Japanese yen hitting maybe 160 again. So the euro eventually will get to 120, sitting at 115. Same thing with the pound, sitting at 131. I think still, short term they'll be around this area. What about the Canadian dollar? Canadian dollar's been it's getting very weak, especially on the budget. I don't know if you guys paid attention to the Canadian budget yesterday. It was, kind of spread out all over the place, but still they're going into, their $75 billion every year is now gone towards servicing our debt. Our debt is going up, and they're not having a balanced budget. That they don't even think about it till 2028. So what is a balanced budget? A lot of people don't understand what balanced budget is. Balanced budget is, all the revenue, all the tax they collect from us every year, all that revenue. If they still have a deficit at the end, they borrow money, and that becomes a debt. And they're actually paying $75 billion every year now in Canada to pay that debt. And I'm not talking about any, what you normally pay like a down payment. It's not a down payment. This is just interest alone. So Canada is going into further debt. So again, I think that we're all on the same boat on that one. So that is basically what's going on in the market this morning. So let's take a look at other numbers. Like I said, ISM manufacturing numbers are coming out, and I also saw a little bit of weakness in one of the things I want to discuss. A little weakness in the Chinese. Where is the Chinese numbers? There, the PMI. This was the number. I was expecting a more number coming out of the Chinese market. So and it just kind of almost came out the same. I was hoping there's a service, because China manufactures a lot of stuff. Their economy is geared towards manufacturing. It's not the service economy. This is what Donald Trump wants. He wants that services to pick up. He wants China to spend money, but they're not spenders. Okay, their population is not. They're not spenders. They don't go buy anything extra if they need it. In America, they buy extras and throw it all over the place, and we do it too here, because we are do it all the time. But they don't. They're not the spenders. They're so. He wants this economy to go. I was hoping this number would be a lot higher, but it's not. A couple of other things. There was another thing here. I posted. It's in the chat somewhere. Okay, I'll find it after. Anyways, but these are the number. ISM is coming out at 10 o'clock, 50.7. If it comes in higher, that means this is that the U.S. economy is based on services. It's not based on manufacturing. So I expect this number to come up. If this number doesn't come up, that means we got a contraction in the U.S. Economy. Okay, contraction going to the other side. Anytime we get this number below 50, it's negative. Okay, we want to keep this number above 50, for hopefully higher than 50.7. And if it's higher than 50.7, that is good for the economy. Okay, so those who, again, I talked about oil early this morning. Again, at 10:30, we are coming out with crude oil inventories. So right now we're in the inventories. We are looking for minus 2.5 million barrels. Okay, if that number is anywhere close to 2.5 or lower than this number here, we're gonna see the price of oil spike to the upside. Okay, why is it gonna spike? Because we got less oil in our inventories. We need to get those inventories full. And what we do to get those inventories full, we have to put crude in there, and that we have to get crude, and the price of crude is gonna go to the upside. Okay, so that it's gonna any number here, whatever this number is, or even lower, the price will go up. If this number is increased, that means a positive number. That's gonna push the oil prices lower. So I think the number is gonna be positive, because I don't think we're using that much oil right now. Anyway, so that's any oil traders, that's the number you want to see. So that's coming out 10:30. Let's take a look at what else is happening at the earnings. This is what I was talking about, this number here earlier. So let's go back over to the earnings here. Earnings is let's talk about a little bit yesterday. Advanced Micro came out with earnings. They beat the numbers as was expected, but the stock was already went up a lot. So what happened to ADP? Let's take a look here. And what is it going to be like? What should you do today if you are holding ADP? AMD, sorry, ADP, AMD. AMD, like I said, had a lot of run up, and it's just taking, I think a lot of people are just taking a profit out of this one. So it's been going to the downside ever since, basically after the earnings. So again, the numbers were positive. A lot of people say, wait, listen, it beat the numbers. Why isn't it going up? Because it was already priced in, right? This stock has run up a lot. So it was priced in, and that's why the stock is going to the downside. Also, one more thing, news came out of China. The government said they don't want any American chips in the government software, hardware, whatever they use. They don't want any American chips. That was this morning. And that's also pushing all the chips to the downside. It's probably pushing all the NVIDIA as well. If you look at NVDA, it's probably pushing all the chip makers to the downside. So yeah, this is sitting at 198 this morning. So it's about 10 cents higher. What about MU, Micron? Yeah, Micron is it is actually up. It's up $5. So I do still think this is going to be a negative news for the market. I think they'll end up to the downside. These guys make the storage memory. They're a little bit different than NVIDIA, AMD, and Qualcomm and many other ones. Qualcomm's supposed to come out with earnings. We'll take a look at that. Shopify came out with earnings. I know a lot of people traded. This is a traded stock. I am not a big fan of Shopify, unless you really want to day trade it. So it came out with earnings, and the stock is basically to the downside there. And the numbers are very expensive. If you take a look at it fundamentally, it's a trader stock. Right now, it's going to trade to the downside. So if you look at these numbers, they're very expensive compared to the historical numbers. It's a bit why? Because the stock has run up a lot. Okay, so I would be very careful if anybody's long. If you made a good profit in it, I think it's time to take it. Okay, Shopify. Uber came out with earnings yesterday. Remember, it came out with great numbers and everything. I love the stock. I think this is an opportunity for you to buy. Okay, to the downside. It is up this morning. Yesterday, it touched all the way to $90. So if anybody picked it up, and that's great. And I think this is going right back to over $100. It's already up about $4 from the bottom here, from yesterday when we were talking about it. So I think this continues to the upside. 94, 92. Great cash flow, 2.2 billion. We saw the numbers. We went over the numbers yesterday, and we'll go over some numbers again this afternoon. We'll go over McDonald's numbers because it's a huge company. They came out with earnings this morning. We'll go over their numbers, explain to you what we see and what we don't see. Okay, Suncor came out with earnings yesterday, beat the numbers like crazy. Okay, and anybody Suncor holder here? Anybody hold Suncor? So they beat the numbers like crazy. Great stock. I love this stock. Canadian oil company. Again, I'm not a holder of it right now. I traded it many times, but it's always made good money for me, swing trading and stuff. But the earnings were knocked out of the park. Basically, 28% growth, earnings per share, and 7.44 million above the forecast on the revenue side. So what do the numbers look like on this one here? Look at these numbers, very cheap. Look at the cash flow. Remember what I tell you, that any company that has under 5 times cash flow is a company that I just love. And this is Suncor, and this is a huge corporation as well, and they're under 5%. So if you are 15, 20 years, 25, 30 years old, kind of buy this stock and put in the corner somewhere, okay? And average down. If it does come down, I wouldn't mind. That's why we want the market to drop, right? So that is Suncor. What else is? Canadian companies are coming out this morning. Let's go to today. Okay, what's coming out today? McDonald's come out with earnings. They missed revenue they missed the earnings per share, and they missed the revenue. So I think this is a good news. Go down to the further, but if you want to buy the stock, it's sitting around 299, 300. It's been sitting here for a while, and this has been hitting here. Remember, since the war started in the Middle East there, and these guys supported Israel, and that's why this basically stock has since then been going just sideways. I like the stock. Would I buy it here? Yes, I would. But would I buy it cheaper? Yes. So I'm waiting for the it's sitting around 299, 300. When we talk about McDonald's, we need to bring in Chipotle as well. All these fast foods restaurants, every one of them, they're all hurting. It's not McDonald's only, Chipotle, you name the franchise out there right now, they are hurting. Okay, because people are not spending money. They don't have, and it's just going to be worse now because all the government employees in the U.S. Some of them are going to work, but they're not spending money at McDonald's or any restaurants. They don't have the money to spend. They're not getting paid, and they don't know when they're going to get paid. And these numbers in this month here, think about it. We're in the month of November, and we already had the U.S. shut down for 30 days. And the last 30 days, a lot of these, the economy in the U.S. is going to take a hurt. It's going to take a hurt to the downside. What the numbers going to come on the next month? The numbers aren't going to be very good, right? So when we see the numbers next month, so it's not going to be very good at all. So be careful when you're buying these companies. I like McDonald's. It's a great franchise, but I wouldn't mind paying like $275 or anything under to get this company. But again, it's even good at this price. So that is McDonald's. Qualcomm is coming out with earnings today. It's after 4 o'clock. Those are the one I want to see. Robinhood, I know a lot of people follow Robinhood. Let's take a look at Qualcomm first, see if they're going to beat the numbers. So for those who are holding Qualcomm, let's take a look at the numbers. If you want me to look at a stock, guys, just put it in the members chat here. I will take a look at it. If any earnings are coming out, any stock that you may be looking to buy or sell. So this is Qualcomm. I think the number is going to be sort of going to be good. They're going to be fine. Let's go into here. Earnings. $2.87. I think they will beat the earnings because this sector has been very hot. So even the revenue, 10.77 billion. I think they'll beat the numbers. By how much? Remember, AMD had great numbers. A lot of companies had great numbers, but they all ended up lower. But Qualcomm did not have the run that these other companies had. Okay, this has been going sideways. So if the numbers come out good on this one, this will pop. Okay, this will pop. I don't play for earnings. You guys all know that. I do not play for earnings, and I'm not gonna. I like this stock. I would love to buy this stock, but chances are I will buy this stock tomorrow. We'll see what the numbers look like. But for those who own it, I think the chances are good. This is going to go to the upside. Okay. So if you're thinking about selling or you're thinking about buying, that's my thing is. I'm looking this. I think it will be okay. I think the numbers will be fine. Okay. Qualcomm, that Robinhood is going to be, I think, a little bit risky here. If you're holding Robinhood, there's been a lot of trading going on. They're trading the cryptocurrencies. The stock had quite a bit of run up. Okay, the earnings are expected. Let's go look at these numbers on Robinhood. The numbers are expected to be 54 cents per share. I think they will beat that number, 1.21 billion. Yeah, I think so. I think they'll beat these numbers, but by how much? Okay. If they beat the numbers, the stock is depending on how much. If the numbers are strong, I don't know how much this stock is going to go up. I don't know how much pop it's going to get. I don't think it's going to get that much because look at what the stock has done. It has quite a bit of run up. Even from here to here, had quite a bit of run up. And the numbers, if you look at fundamentally, it's very, very expensive stock. It's very expensive. Okay, look at these numbers. So I do expect the numbers to come in and see what they look like. Well, look at it after. They're coming after 4 p.m. What other company that there's all a bunch of companies. I want to look at Canadian. Sun Life is coming out with earnings. I don't see them yet. Great West Lifeco, they're coming after 4 o'clock. These are great companies, guys. They should be on your list to buy when they come down. Great West Life, Sun Life, and Chemico is also coming out with earnings. CCO. Let's take a look if they have, because this is an important company here. Okay, so they did come out with earnings. They missed it. Okay, but the stock has run up a lot as well, and this is on the
CCJ, Deepaji?
Yeah, CCJ is on the US, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same company. If we punch in CCJ, it's on the US. See, yeah, there are two different tickers. One is on the Canadian side, one is on the American side. So on this side, we can actually see what the stock is doing. And the stock is still, still hot, 98.60. Why? Because there's a big talk about building nuclear plants. You guys saw the U.S. report. They're spending billions more on building new nuclear plants. And these guys are the largest producers of uranium out there. The other company that we bought at $6 somewhere there, UEC. What is that doing this morning? What does the earnings look like? So I think this one is a buy, guys. I think it's a lot cheaper than the other one. I think this company is still a buy. We took it from way back here, guys. Remember that? $6.5, $7 where we were buying before this pop happened. So we'll try to find some more companies like this. But this one here, I think even at current price, if you sold back at 15 like I did, some of it, and you can actually, I think you can buy it back. I think this will continue back to the upside. Okay, you can put a stop loss right there at 12.68 if you're buying it now. It's sitting at about $13, so it's about 40 cents, which is not much. But again, I think this is a stock that's gonna get to the upside. Okay. Anybody else want to see any stocks? Anybody want to pop a stock in there? All right.
I think ਭਾਜੀ RKT ਕਾਫੀ beaten up ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕਾ.
Yeah, so like I was talking about Gurkeet this morning, why the real estate sector is gonna go up, and Rocket Mortgage (RKT) lends out mortgages, and if the real estate sector is gonna go up, this is gonna be the part of it. So I think this company is pretty cheap. Remember when they started cutting interest rates? Look how it popped to the upside. And when they're gonna start cutting rates like big time next year, this will be back over $20. It should go to maybe 30, $40 once it gets past the $20 here. So I do believe
ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਵਿਜ਼ਨ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਚੱਲੋ ਭਾਜੀ ਠੀਕ ਹੈਗਾ ਸਟਾਕ ਇਸ ਲੈਵਲ ਤੇ.
yeah, that's what they need. But a lot of people get impatient when the stock is kind of going sideways and lower. But they don't have stock return than they give you return in a very short term, or very short time. And a lot of people, that's why you have to accumulate these stocks beforehand. Okay? You have to accumulate. You don't want to
ਭਾਜੀ
chase them.
ਇੱਕ ਥਿਊਰੀ ਹੋਰ ਆ ਵੀ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਰੇਟ ਕੱਟ ਰੀਸੈਂਟਲੀ ਹੋਣੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਏ ਆ ਵੀ ਉਹਦਾ ਇਫੈਕਟ 6 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਪਏਗਾ. ਉਤੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਇਕਨੋਮੀ ਸ਼ਰਿੰਕ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਸ਼ਟਡਾਊਨ ਕਰਕੇ, ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹ ਸ਼ਟਡਾਊਨ ਐਂਡ ਹੋਊਗਾ ਵੀ ਇਨਸਟੈਂਟ ਮਨੀ ਆਏਗੀ, ਲੋਕਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਇਨਸਟੈਂਟ ਪੈਸਾ ਆਏਗਾ, ਸੈਲਰੀ ਆਣਗੀਆਂ, ਉਹ ਪੇਮੈਂਟਾਂ ਜਾਣਗੀਆਂ ਰੈਂਟ ਮੌਰਗੇਜਿਸ ਉੱਤੇ ਤੇ ਖਾਣ ਪੀਣ ਉੱਤੇ ਦੁਬਾਰ ਤੋਂ. ਤੇ ਜੇ ਉਹ ਵਿਊ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਹੋ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਸਟਾਕ ਕਾਫੀ ਠੀਕ ਹੈਗਾ.
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ. ਦੇਖੋ ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਿਊਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਸਟਾਕ, ਇੱਕ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੋਰਟ ਟਰਮ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਟ੍ਰੇਡ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਆ ਡੇ ਟ੍ਰੇਡਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ. ਇੱਕ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਵਿੰਗ ਟ੍ਰੇਡਿੰਗ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੌਂਗ ਟਰਮ ਟ੍ਰੇਡਿੰਗ ਸਟਾਕਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਯੂ ਹੈਵ ਟੂ ਕੀਪ ਅ ਲਿਟਲ ਬਿਟ ਆਫ ਪੇਸ਼ੈਂਸ, ਯੂ ਵਿਲ ਗੈਟ ਦ ਰਿਟਰਨ. ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬੰਦਾ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਜਸਟ ਸਰ ਆਈ ਜਸਟ ਵਾਂਟ a 15 to 20% return in a year, that doesn't mean you should be, if you're buying a stock today and you're going to get your 15% return tomorrow. You will get more than 15 to 20% return, but you have to be patient with it, right? So that's what the long-term view is. That's what you need. That's what you should do as an investor. That's what we are here. We are investors. We are not trying to win a lottery here. We are trying to build wealth slowly, and as we build it up, that's what we want. We want to increase our wealth by relaxing. We don't want to hire. I've been through when I first started. I used to to be honest with you, when I first started buying stocks, I would buy a stock. I would be looking at it every second. Hey, what's the price now? What's the price now? And when I got up in the morning, the first thing I would do would jump out. Look, if I bought that stock yesterday, is it gone down? Is it making money for me, right? And because when we first started, I didn't know a lot about the stock market. I didn't know a lot about the stocks, how they behaved, right? I didn't know a lot about earnings and stuff like that, how the stocks got affected. But once you learn all that, and you learn about the economy, you're going to be much more comfortable at owning these stocks. Okay? So you got to be, that's what part of here is your training, is you got to learn to relax when you buy a stock and let it work out. Let the quarterly earnings come in, and let the CEOs talk, let the CFOs talk, let them put the news out in the market, and then follow that. And you will also start following a lot of people as well. You'll learn to follow guys like Michael Dell or many other CEOs who have created a lot of wealth, like Elon Musk and all these guys. What are they doing? Once you start following all that, you are going to be much more tuned into the stock market, and you're going to be much better at it. Okay. So next thing, let's take a look at DHI. DHI is a home builder in the U.S. It's one of the stocks we own. Like I said, real estate currently is coming down because talk about interest rates not cutting. and stuff like that. Plus the yield, the 10-year is going up above 4%. That's what's driving these stocks to the downside. I'm a buyer of this stock for long term. And I think by next year, when they start cutting interest rates, we're going to see this a lot higher. Okay, we're going to see a lot higher where it is. This is where we started buying, if you guys all remember. Remember, before June, we talked about interest rate cuts. This is where we started buying this stock. Look at the return you got on it. And as it's coming down, I'm going to buy this more. If it comes down here, I'm going to put more and more money into it. And once it will come back to the upside again, once they start cutting interest rates. So this is how you build wealth. This is compounding, right? You buy here, you sell up there somewhere, right? Then you let it come down here, then you buy it again. That's compounding. How many times you can do in a year? This one here started moving in June. Let's say your average price was here around 131. Let's say 130, just to round it off. 130. It ran all the way up to 83, right? It ran up $50 in what, 2-3 months? And it gives you what, 80% return? Instead of we talk about 15 and 30%, but over the year, you will get a lot more than that. Okay. Just have to be in the right stock at the right time. And the other thing is, understand the stock. Why are you in it? When you buy a stock, like when we started buying DHI here, we knew the interest rates were going to come down and it was going to pick up the real estate. And same thing now. We do believe next year the new governor comes in. I think he's going to be dropping interest rates like crazy, because that's what Trump is going to tell them. And if they do, this thing is going to be higher. If Jerome Powell had listened to Donald Trump, he cut interest rates, this thing would be like over $200. We wouldn't be here, right? So we gotta read the economy. We gotta read what our politicians are doing, what Jerome Powell is doing ahead of time, not after. After anybody can, anybody's a genius afterward. Hey, buy that stock. But you're paying a lot more for it. Imagine those people that started buying when the interest rates started coming down. Then all of a sudden everybody realized, hey, we need to jump into the stock. We need to jump into all these stocks here, real estate stocks. And what did the real stock did after that? They all jumped. So this is a ETF has been going sideways. Not much return on this one. So if you don't feel comfortable owning any particular stocks, I would suggest that you own a ETF. ETFs got about 50, 60 companies in there. You're not going to go bankrupt. If one company goes bad, you're still going to be, your money is going to be safe in there. Okay. I love ETFs. So this is the one I'm suggesting. Anybody who doesn't want to do homework in it, start accumulating it. A lot of people that are putting the money in the S&P 500, stop doing that and start putting it in here. Cycle your money. I mean, a lot of people say, I'm going to consistently keep buying.
एक स्टॉक है ANIP, प्लीज चेक देख दो.
AMI? Buddy, AMI क्या था? Sorry, Buddy, I didn't get it clear. So let's try it. I think you said AMI.
Market data connection lost. Market data
here?
connection re-established.
Oh. This is
नहीं but ANIP.
AN. ਭਾਜੀ ਟਿਕਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾ ਦੋਗੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਚੈਟ ਦੇ okay ANIP okay
ANIP
okay
sorry,
this is a pharmaceutical company. Look like it had a nice run up, so somebody's won a lottery here. Earnings, very good earnings. Wow. Let's take a look. And they had an IPO back in 2024. So it had a nice run up, and all of a sudden they popped up on earnings. So let's see the financials.
Market data connection lost.
So my internet keeps popping in and out. That's sometimes again. Okay.
Market data connection re-established.
Price to earnings ratio, we don't have that. We'll take a look at why. This is good. Price to sales is good. Price to cash flow is not bad at all. Price to book, these numbers they're not bad at all for pharmaceutical. Actually, they're great numbers. So why doesn't we have a price to earnings ratio? Let's take a look. Then we go into earnings. You know, it should. This is a great. This is great numbers. I like it. Look at the growth on this. Wow. What? Wow.
ਇਹਦੀ ਭਾਜੀ earning due I think this week or next week.
They're coming. If their past earnings were good, Paji, these numbers could be good as well. Yeah, they're coming out November 7th, which is Friday morning. So today's Thursday. So they're coming out tomorrow morning. And I think let's take a look. This looks very interesting.
ਇਹਦੇ ਚ buying ਦਾ ਕਾਫੀ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਭਾਜੀ ਪਿਛਲੇ time.
Yes, let me look at what exactly.
ਇਹਦੇ ਚ buying ਕਾਫੀ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਭਾਜੀ 2-3 week ago.
I can see that. It's going up. It's going up. Let me see here. ANIP. Okay, what I'm going to do with this one here is I'm going to do a little bit extra research behind the scenes. But quickly from what I see here, they're into development, manufacture, making, and generic. Oh, this is beautiful. They're into generic drugs. Teva is another company, TEVA, and they make generic drugs as well. We'll take a look at what they're doing. Very small number of shares outstanding. Okay, this stock can pop if these numbers are beat. $1.77. They almost had $1.80 the last time. I don't understand why they should be any lower than $1.77, and they should also beat the revenue. So from what it looks to me, this stock could pop if they beat these numbers tomorrow morning. Okay, since this is a new IPO, good numbers coming out. This can I'm gonna do what kind of drugs they're into, especially generic drugs. So quickly compare this. What's happening with Teva? Teva is another pharma. Come on, internet. Okay, something is going on. My network is kind of screwed up this morning. Everybody can still hear me?
ਭਾਈ ਟੁੱਟ ਕੇ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ.
Yeah, ਮੇਰਾ internet pop in and out ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ. Sorry guys, just hang on. Stick with me here for a minute. Just let's see this. Okay, I think that, yeah, sometimes I get the network. See, this one is popping too. This is another company I like. They're into generic drugs as well. They came out with great earnings. They were coming out today. So if this is coming there, I like it, buddy. I would actually, I'm not a gambling guy, but I like it. I like the stock. I like this company too. So Teva. I'm not a gambling guy, but I would bet this one here would have a nice one to the upside. And you can see there was a lot of buying here. See this big candle here? And there's been a lot of accumulation on this one here. It's like a...
ਭਾਜੀ level ਕਿਹੜਾ ਭਾਜੀ ਇਹ ਬਾਈ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ 96?
ਭਾਜੀ here's the story. It's ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਦਾਂ ਐਕਸਪਲੇਨ ਕਰੂੰਗਾ. ਇਹ ਹੈਗਾ bullish flag, right? Today, I think the stock will do nicely. It's going to go to the upside. But tomorrow morning, ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹਦੀਆਂ earnings ਆਉਣੀਆਂ, it's going to, if the earnings are good, ਇਹਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ chance ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਣਾ buy ਕਰਨੇ ਨੂੰ. It's going to pop. You'll be chasing it tomorrow.
Generic drugs ਭਾਜੀ demand ਚ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਆ.
Yeah, they're cheaper drugs, right?
ਹਾਂਜੀ.
Right. So ਜਿਹੜੇ generic drugs ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ generic drugs ਆ, ਜਿੱਦਾਂ companies like Pfizer, Merck, ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ drugs ਬਣਾਉਣੀਆਂ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਇੱਕ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ, ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਡਰੱਗ ਨਵਾਂ ਬਣਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਰਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ 15 ਸਾਲ ਜਾਂ 20 ਸਾਲ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਡਰੱਗ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੇਚ ਸਕਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ Pfizer ਨੇ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਜਾਂ Merck ਨੇ ਬਣਾਇਆ. ਪਰ 15 ਸਾਲ ਬਾਅਦ ਜਾਂ 20 ਸਾਲ ਬਾਅਦ ਉਹਦੀ ਐਕਸਪਾਇਰੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ। ਉਹ ਐਕਸਪਾਇਰੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ, ਫਿਰ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਲਾਈਕ ਏਨਿਪ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਟੀਵਾ ਆ, ਉਹ ਠੀਕ ਉਹ ਡਰੱਗ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਲੱਪਣੀਆਂ ਬਣਾਉਣ। ਸੋ ਦੈਟਸ ਹਾਊ ਦੇ ਮੇਕ देयर ਮਨੀ। ਓਕੇ, ਸੋ
ਭਾਜੀ ਇਹਦੀ ਅਰਨਿੰਗ ਤਾਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਸਟਰੋਂਗ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਵਾਲੀਆਂ ਦਾ ਕਾਫੀ।
no, it's a strong stock. It is a very strong stock, and the thing is ਜਿਹੜੇ stocks ਹੈਗੇ ਉਹ they're not that much. It's like a low float. There are 21 million shares outstanding. So ਜੇ ਕੱਲ ਨੂੰ earnings ਆਈਆਂ, this is not going to give you chance to buy. This is going to pop. This stock is going to pop to the upside. Look how strong the earnings are, the revenue is. So it's a good stock. ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਾ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ we could have, you know.
ਭਾਜੀ ਮੈਂ ਵਾਚ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਈ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ, ਪਰ ਉਹੀ ਨਾ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਅਪ ਐਂਡ ਡਾਊਨ।
ਅੱਛਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲਿਆ ਸਟਾਕ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ?
ਨਹੀਂ ਭਾਜੀ ਮੈਂ ਹਲੇ 96 ਤੇ ਸੋਚਦਾ ਸੀ।
ਅੱਛਾ।
ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਸਟਾਕ ਹੈਗਾ ਭਾਜੀ WGS।
WGS?
ਹਾਂਜੀ WGS, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਵੋਲੇਟਾਈਲ ਕਾਫੀ ਹੈ ਭਾਜੀ।
Okay, let's take a look at WGS. I like Tiva. I like this one. Let's take a look at WGS. Okay, this is generics. Look like it's a generics too. It's look like it's on a breakout too. It had a good earnings.
but
They go on Tiva, great earnings. I think stock everything be great earnings. Kalnu look like this ANIP will have a good earnings too, and ANIP has a better chance of popping to the upside.
ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਿਸਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ, ਇਹਦੇ ਚ ਅਰਨਿੰਗਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਣੀਆਂ। ਇਹਦਾ ਡੇਲੀ ਦਾ ਸਟਾਪ ਲਾਸ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਚੱਲ ਸਕਦੇ ਜੇ ਕੱਲ ਦੀ ਅਰਨਿੰਗ ਦੂਜੇ ਦੀ ਪਲੇ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ।
Yeah, if ANIP comes out with great earnings, this is gonna.
ਇਹਦੀਆਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਆ ਗਈਆਂ ਪਿਛਲੀ ਵੀਕ ਅਰਨਿੰਗ ਆ ਗਈਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਗੁੱਡ ਸੀ ਜਾਂ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਉਹੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਨਾ, ਇਹ ਰਿਸਕ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਦੂਜਾ ਹੈਗਾ।
Yeah, true. So I would definitely look at the ANIP, look at Tiva, and look at these three. If you're generic drugs, that's what Donald Trump wants to do, is push a lot of people more towards the generic drugs, cheaper drugs, and these are cheap drugs. So I think they're going to have a great couple of next 3 years under Donald Trump, I think. So yeah, definitely ANIP ਹੈਗਾ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ risk ਲੈਣਾ, right? Remember, you're taking a risk on yourself, but I think it's a good risk. Personally, from what I see. So even I'm gonna, I think, maybe pick up a little bit of this shares this morning. So I'm gonna do a little research a little bit on ANIP, but meantime I'll let Harvey do the market update. It's 9 o'clock already, so I'll let him do the update. So I will be back before 9:30 and we'll discuss about ANIP today, to whether chances are I'm gonna buy maybe 40-50 shares, but anyways, let you
ਫਿਰ
guys
ਆਪਾਂ
know.
ਵੀ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਬਾਏ ਭਾਜੀ।
Yeah. Okay, so let me do a little more research and I'll let Harvey do the market update. I will be back after that.